You gotta be shitting me. No way. So Sony mentioned in their latest financial briefing that the PlayStation 5 is on its last years. It's on its last legs. And they actually expect that the peak year was sort of last year, or financial year is ending like in March this year. It's really weird, but doesn't really matter. And that they expect the PS5 to gradually decline in hardware sales. And they even say that there will not be any sort of Sony IP releases for this year, financial year, that's ending in March or April 2025. So no God of War, no Spider-Man, no Horizon, no the usual crap that we have been getting these past years. And my mind is just blown because not only you couldn't even find the damn thing for the first 2.5 years, there aren't really that many games on the system to begin with. Sony always was sort of a slow burner where, at least on PS3, on PS1, PS2, I didn't really, I was a kid, so I wasn't really paying attention. But on PS3 and PS4, it kind of got slow burner, and then at the sort of latter half of the console, it just blows everybody out of the water. The output of exclusives on PS3 and even PS4 was incredible. Both small games, remakes, remasters, and new IPs, giant exclusives, coming out. And this generation, we have. I mean, we have. I mean, we have The Last of Us remake, part one and two. And we have Returnal. That is an exclusive. That's a new IP. Returnal. Dang! This generation we have Returnal. No, without kidding though, this is literally the worst PlayStation generation I have ever lived through, and I've lived through them all. And even though I'm super excited to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, it's not a PlayStation exclusive. It will come out on PC. It will hopefully, for these fans, eventually come out on Game Pass or Xbox, but it's not a Sony game. And just to think about, yes, does Sony have multiple games in development? Yeah, sure. I mean, today they actually announced 8% layoff of their workforce developing video games, and London Studios has been shut down. Yes, another one bites the dust. Man, I don't know what's going on with Sony. They also mentioned that these really huge blockbuster games like Horizon, they just cost too much. They cost too much, and they don't earn too much. You know what they're basically saying? Well, we are going to make these games, but they're going to be full of microtransactions, DLCs, live service crap. Leave in the comments below if you think I'm right. They are going all in on live service. They are going to microtransaction. The next Horizon, I think the next Horizon is like a multiplayer game. Bam! There we go. Multiplayer game, live service, microtransactions, DLCs, season passes, game passes, battle passes, internet passes. They can, new game plus passes. It doesn't really matter. They are going to fuck it up. And I'm actually very happy that I don't care about PS5. I'm very happy that I don't care about AAA modern game because the indie scene is pretty good. I actually pre-ordered Sea of Stars, the physical edition. I waited. I can't freaking wait because I have heard so many good things about Sea of Stars. I have pre-ordered Change of Echoes. It's another sort of homage to Japanese RPGs. I can't freaking wait to play that one too. And this generation, I don't know. Like, my mind is blown. How can Sony say that this is sort of the beginning of the end? It is. It's not like, next year. It's still going to happen like 2, 3, maybe 4 years, and we're going to, have the next generation of systems if it's actually going to be a system and not just Game Pass or a digital-only console. But the whole point is, there's nothing really much to be excited about. Yes, Rise of the Ronin looks pretty good, I know, but just like Neo, it eventually will come out on other systems. And I think I made a video years ago where I said PCs is not it's not a sort of a competition against consoles, but it kind of is, because if you don't need a PS5 or an Xbox to play the exclusives, why would you buy it? You can just invest in a really nice PC and you can have all the benefits besides having games physical. But then again, games are not really physical nowadays. I've heard a rumor, and some say it is true, some say it's not true, that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth actually needs a sort of unlock code from the internet. So when I'm getting the game this Thursday, I'm actually going to cut my PS5 being all offline and see if the damn game works. I'm very curious if it does or does not. I'm still very excited for the game, by the way. I'm really excited for the game. But that's it. That's kind of the game I'm most excited for to play. It's the only game I'm excited for to play. And I'm just mind blown. The excitement I had on PS3 and PS4, the early days of PS4, was insane. I loved the E3 showcases. I loved this competition between Microsoft and Sony, the Xbox and PlayStation, and Nintendo were doing their own thing. And to be really honest, I think Nintendo is the only one out of the three that sort of understands what gaming sort of should be. Because even though the Switch 2 is probably going to come out, it's not going to be as super strong as PS5 or maybe not even PS4, probably PS4. You know what I mean? They use old hardware, easy to develop for, much cheaper to develop for, and then you can create great looking games that are fun to play. Fun to play, Sony. Horizon, it's a fun game, but it's such a beautiful world and you can't do anything with it. Not a piece of grass, you can do shit with Horizon's beautiful world, beautiful architecture, amazing cultures, and you can't do anything. There's no interaction between the entire world besides what the developer wants you to do, and that's basically destroy this enemy and go to this NPC, talk really old school stuff. And yes, of course, Nintendo games are the same, but Tears of the Kingdom, I have seen some crazy inventions, rockets and bridges and all that kind of stuff. That is, making the world more interactive. So, leave it in the comments below. What do you think about the statement from Sony? What they said about the PlayStation 5 nearing the end, or at least in a later stage, the last stage of the console. And what do you think about the output of games from Sony and their sort of, their strategy going from mixed genres, mixed budgets, smaller budget games, bigger budget games, to huge budget games that are worth, they're not making really that much money, and they're probably going towards the microtransaction stage and DLC stage and Genshin Impact kind of crap. Yeah, it really makes me want to play more on PS2 now, even more on PS2, besides Final Fantasy, but that's not from Sony. Leave it in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And like always, you're gonna see me next time.